So hello everyone, Vice here, and today we're going to have a look at this deck list that you can see on screen. It's a Gardevoir deck, and it looks suspiciously similar to the one piloted by Tord Reklev at the EUIC, but it is not quite the same. There are some key differences in the counts. For example, I run just 3 Kirlia in my list. I've got 3 Rare Candy, and I've got double Miriam. A few different looking counts to the second place finisher at the EUIC, but very much inspired by their list. And of course, also informed by my own testing. Specifically deciding to go with the double Miriam and being happy that 3 Kirlia would be enough to get me through. And it did. I ended up placing in top 4. I made top cut. There's only kind of a small field of players. Only enough people for a cut of 4. But I made it. So I thought that I would just go through the deck. So, of course, you're looking at Gardevoir EX. It's looking a lot like the lists that you've seen floating around and championed by the likes of players like Tord Reklev, Robin Schultz, and others at EUIC. They come in 2 different main flavors, right? You've got the flavor that you're looking at here, which is a bit more straightforward, focusing on the Gardevoir EX with the Psychic Embrace ability, and you've got the draw engine in Kirlia and Gardevoir is also no slouch when it comes to attacking. You got the Zacian there to dole out damage with, what is it called? Storm Slash? I think, the cards are covered, so I could find the deck box and tell you, but anyhow, get the Zacian V with its attack. It's very similar in the way, in fact, it's pretty much exactly the same as Brainwave. You got Cresselia there, Moonglow Reverse, and you know, you just got other cards there to help you along. The other flavor that I chose not to play, mainly because I couldn't get access to the cards, is the Mewtwo v Union approach, where you sub out the rare candies and you put in the 4 pieces of Mewtwo v Union, giving you a very powerful attacker and win condition, if you like, in the form of the Mewtwo. Being able to take multiple prizes in a turn with the damage counter placing attack that it has, and just having like very powerful effects and abilities all over the card. But anyhow, we're not going to talk about that deck as far as this profile goes. We're going to talk about this. So this deck is a setup deck. You can see Gardevoir EX is a stage 2, so kind of an unfamiliar sight, at least not since, let's say, Inteleon. And Inteleon doesn't really count, right? Inteleon is there to facilitate whatever your win condition is. It's not the win condition in and of itself. Whereas establishing getting to the stage 2 Gardevoir is very much required when it comes to this deck, right? So on one hand, you've got the Gardevoir EX, newly released in Scarlet and Violet. Has that powerful ability of Psychic Embrace, where it accelerates Psychic Energy from the discard pile to your Psychic Pokemon as many times as you like in your turn, and when you place a Psychic Energy in that way, you got to place 2 damage counters on it as well. So, powerful effect, bit of a drawback, but we can manage it in a few different ways. Alongside, and sort of the great aspect that you have with the EXs is just the fact that they evolve from the same evolution lines as their non-EX counterparts. It means you can have very diverse, very, very cool looking decks, such as you have here. We've chosen to go with the double Gardevoir Shining Arcana ability. Is quite good for drawing through a deck. Brainwave is quite good into a lot of different matchups. It is a single prize Pokemon, so, you know, if you're threatening with it, all they can do is take it down and only get 1 prize as a result. It's very good at presenting an awkward choice for your opponent, because your opponent would love nothing more than to just take down your 2-prize attackers. But if they choose not to deal with, let's say, a Gardevoir with 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 energy on it sometimes, you know, you are potentially taking 2 prizes, 4 prizes, 6 prizes, you know, turn after turn. So you have to deal with the Gardevoir, and the fact that they have to deal with the Gardevoir means that your 2-prize counterpart in the Gardevoir EX can remain relatively safe, at least until the end of the game. At the end of the game, things can get a bit hairy, but we'll sort of get there. You've got just 3 Kirlia. I found in my testing that 3 Kirlia was enough. I wanted the 3 rare candy because sometimes hitting the early rare candy was ace. Being able to get an aggressive Gardevoir EX going and just taking a prize early can be so good, so good. And you sort of help yourself along with that via... I want to talk about the Cresselia for a bit. So Moonglow Reverse Cresselia, this one comes from Legends, Lost Origin, is so good. And so like early game, mid game, late game, this card absorbs damage counters from your Pokemon and puts them onto an opponent's Pokemon as you prefer. So the way it works is that for 1 energy, for each of your Pokemon with damage counters on them, you take 2 damage counters off, and then you put those damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So it's very good because you can snipe with it, you can set up KOs with it, and almost most importantly, you're removing damage for yourself. And so that can be very important into matchups like Sableye, obviously. And then the last sort of thing that I want to go over here is having, well, not the last thing, but I want to talk about the Zacian Vs. So Zacian, obviously, very potent attacker, having the same type of attack as Gardevoir. It's the exact same math, where you do 60 plus 30 more for each psychic energy attached to it. But the important part is that because of the bulkier HP, you can sort of just go ham with the energy in the late game. And then having access to Sky Seal Stone, you can see over there on the right, you can activate Star Order, you take, say, 4 prizes on a Regieleki VMAX, or, you know, an extra prize against the many V-Stars that are present in the metagame. So, very good. And even in the early game, it sort of draws threat away from the Gardevoir that you're just trying really hard to set up. So your opponent, knowing that your win condition is in being able to set up multiple Gardevoir as the game goes on, will be drawn between one or the other, right? So if they hunt down your Zacian, you're kind of okay with that, because it means that your Gardevoir get away scot-free and they're able to set up. And on the other hand, if they do target down the Gardevoir, it means that they've ignored your Zacian, you're able to power it up, take down their threat in return. So, and so you've got a couple there. Zacian is important enough to want to make sure that you get it. I think in future, I'm going to try playing with only 1 Zacian, because for most of my testing, I only played 1, and it seemed to be enough, seemed to be adequate. But as I sort of came to understand that aspect of Zacian, I also became okay with opening with it, having it in play early, using up those turns where you wouldn't attack by using Roar of the Sword, and drawing the energy out of the deck itself. So, yeah, pretty good. And then you got Mew, Radiant Greninja, Manaphy. They're all pretty straightforward as far as the reason for their inclusion in the deck. And then we'll go through the items as well. For VIP Pass. VIP Pass is just a very strong item. It's taken me, it feels like, a year to come around to wanting to include this card in different decks. And using it, being able to fetch it on the first turn with Mew, which gives you the extra reach, is just very good. Very, very good, you know. And then we go through the rest of the cards. You got 4 Level Ball there, and obviously Level Ball is good to search out your little Pokemon at the beginning, or perhaps your Kirlias in the mid-game. It's sort of good all throughout, because you've also got the Miriam there to recover those cards as you require as well. Fog Crystal, excellent card. Obviously quite good at getting your basic Psychic Pokemon, as well as being able to draw the Psychic energy out as you require. Again, another card that can bring out with the Mew, and just has that versatility required for the deck to run smoothly. We've got 3 Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball is always a bit of a contentious card. It's kind of, there's always going to be those positions where it's like difficult to play. Sometimes you'll get those matchups where maybe you just don't need Manaphy and you don't need Sky Seal Stone, for example, and you just discard those. Often discarding Psychic Energy with the Ultra Ball in order to get them into the discard pile, get them live for the ability to accelerate them with Gardevoir EX. Got 3 rare candy there, so I mentioned that towards the beginning. It's very nice to have a improved odds at hitting the rare candy on your second turn of the game in order to get a very aggressive Gardevoir EX going. But even getting a non-EX Gardevoir is appreciated too. It's all good. It's all gravy. Pal Pad's there to be able to reuse some of your useful supporters. Being able to get a second Roxanne, a second Penny, what have you, is quite good. Now, I chose to go with the double Professor's Research, and although, you look at Tord Reklev's list, and they ran 4, I agree that it is a good card in the deck, right? But I chose to go with the 2, and even at the 2, I felt like I was discarding it a lot with Kirlia. So, it's there because sometimes you just have a good opportunity to throw away, the remnants of a hand that you can't really play out. Hit 7, go for a really big setup on the board. You couldn't be faulted for more. I also couldn't fault you for less. So go with an amount that suits you. I like it at 2. And speaking of liking cards at 2, look at my Miriam count. I'm running it at a 2. So I think that this was influenced from other lists, or I'm not sure if the Gardevoir starter deck that Live gives you comes with the double Miriam. I think it does. But anyhow, regardless, I found that double Miriam was really nice for a deck with so many lines of evolution. They knock out a Gardevoir. Instantly, you've got 3 cards in the discard pile that you may want to recover with Miriam in order to keep your army of Gardevoir flowing, right? So, and knowing that Cresselia can be so important in certain matchups too, just having 2 Miriam, likely having one in hand when a Cresselia goes down, means that even if you're only recovering 1 Cresselia, it's great. You've got the Pal Pad, you've got the second Miriam, so play the Miriam aggressively, recover that Cresselia, really surprise your opponent, okay? They know that your Cresselia is doing a lot of work for you, so they take it out, right? They consider, okay, well, maybe I'll commit this attacker, take out the Cresselia, at least it's off the board and I don't have to worry about it anymore. And you hit them with the Miriam, right? The Miriam for 1 card back into your deck, draw 3, play a Fog Crystal or an Ultra Ball, what have you, get the Cresselia back out, continue to apply a pressure with Moonglow Reverse. It can be very good. I'm at a point where I want to test double Cresselia in my list because I like the card that much. And Miriam just helps facilitate it so much. You got double Boss's Orders here. I think that you could reasonably split between 1 boss, 1 Serena. Because there's so many V Pokemon floating around now, and not that many bench-sitting EXs other than Gardevoir EX, right? So I think that you could reason to want to run a split, but I'm happy with the double Boss's Orders as well. Just being able to take down with some reliability the threats that sit on your opponent's board, right? You also can't forget that Cresselia is doing a lot of bench sniping for you too. So, just keep that in mind when you're thinking about that card. You got Worker there. So Worker alongside Temple of Sinnoh and Collapsed Stadium is sort of your package in order to deal with Path to the Peak. Pal Pad gets your Worker back, and that's your 4th out to Pathlock. So Worker has to be in the deck. You need to respect Path to the Peak because it can shut you down. You got Judge Roxanne there. Great disruption effects, it was quite common to see 2 or even 3 counts of Judge in Gardevoir lists before the EUIC, and may continue to be a theme afterwards. I like the Judge disruption. I especially like the Roxanne disruption. And I've also been testing double Roxanne in different lists as well. I decided to go with the 1-1 split here. And then Penny is really important. It's really good, but it takes a lot of testing to realize and to spot all the moments where penning would be good. Right. You need, especially with so much visibility of what Gardevoir lists look like at the moment, you need an out to something like Mawile Lock and the like. So that's what Penny is there for. Penny can also remove a Pokemon from play that let's say you're playing against Lost Box and they're setting you up for a double KO with Sableye or something like that. Penny just removes that. And yeah, there's just different spots where the Penny allows you to pivot out and do things in quite a useful way. Sky Silstone there, obviously there to take extra prizes in lots of different matchups. Collapsed Stadium allows you to, let's say, go for a tricky late game play where you get rid of a double prize Pokemon like the Zacian, like the Gardevoir EX, or even performing a play that's similar to the Penny, where you take a damaged Pokemon off the board so that your opponent can't hunt it down with Sableye. And then Temple of Sinnoh can be very powerful in concert with the Roxanne in order to disrupt, let's say, a Lugia V-Star deck. And then at the tail end there, in the top right-hand corner, you've got 11 Psychic Energy. So look, that's my deck. I played it on the weekend to success. I was able to finish top 4 at my local League Cup. And look, I was really happy with the performance of the deck. I feel like I smashed quite a lot throughout the tournament with this deck. It just did everything that I wanted it to. I think if I can make changes, I would possibly cut a Zacian, and I very much want to consider putting Picnic Basket in this deck, which, if you look at a lot of Japanese lists, a lot of them are running that item card, and it's what Picnic Basket does is it heals 30 from every Pokemon in play. And so that can be very good against Sableye in those tense late game situations where they're trying to add up all the damage and knock you out with the Sableye. So I want to give that card a go. And so look, that's it for the deck profile. I'll probably throw in a stream game or two just to show off the list and its performance. And look, if you enjoy seeing deck profiles for competitive decks, weird decks, fun decks, whatever, let me know what you want to see on the channel. And I'll see you in the next live stream or video. So take care and goodbye. Enjoy. All right, you can bet your points, your imaginary points, on the outcome of this game. You got points from the baskets from Battle Pass packs. Yeah, nice. I'm not allowed to predict on my own thing. That sucks. But I guess I have infinite points, so. Please bet like something. Help me test it out, Emerald. Put down like 10 points. That's like nothing. Yeah, this is pretty nice. We're up against the Vulpix though, so gotta tread carefully, right? We must exercise caution in this game. I guess I can use Penny if this doesn't get me anything. Do I still want to use Penny? I could also Penny the Gardevoir and and get rid of even more? I don't know. Still like that. You're here for the Vulpix, huh? Yeah. I think it's gonna be Zacian here. We have to be aggressive with it, right? Royal Sword. Let's see what happens. I don't think that I used Tail, did I? I think I messed up. Now that I think about it. At least we still have Fog Crystal. Next turn's going to be a bit spooky, but there's every possibility that it does work out for us, so we'll be alright. This matchup has made me want to consider something like what is the card? It's made me want to consider putting... Okay, or alright, wise guy. You're not getting the KO, though. Right, you dingus. What are you doing? What are you doing? What was the card? I want to put Wobbuffet into the deck for this matchup. Okay. We need Greninja to do some work, so let's see. That is not really good enough, is it? So we're going to do it like this. And we're going to play Collapsed Stadium. And then we're going to play Miriam. And then we're going to Fog Crystal. And bring it back. Oh, wait, I can't. Oh, no. I was a little hasty there. Just a tad hasty. But that's okay. That's alright. We're having fun with it, you know. We're just having a little bit of fun. We like Kirlia here. In this stream. We like playing Kirlia. We're going to get rid of a candy, because it's not going to be that useful to have all of those. Now, the question is, do we even want the EX? Probably not, right? So probably just do this, and then we keep looking for a way to bench another Pokemon. Can you get rid of the Level Ball? Yes. Keep the Psychic Energy for Radiant Greninja next turn. And then we hit end turn. And then we'll see. We'll see. They've used their V-Star power. Judge, well, you are quite rude. But we have triple refinement in the hand. A Gardevoir to boot. So, let's see what happens. Let's see. So, I think knowing that we've got actually we'll use a Kirlia as a pivot. Just in case things go a little awry. So let's do that. Worker, I think, is what I want because I would love to have the extra bench space. So we are going to do it. Okay. And we'll use refinement. Some of that. A Fog Crystal. Nice. Concealed cards. Alright, keep it going, bro. Refinement. Continue to discard energy. Thank you. So we've got 6. 7th in the hand. We need 8. And we do get that via this Fog Crystal as well. So we're in good shape. And we also have the Ultra Ball. So let's now do it like this. Now, what's too bad is that their Vulpix is ready to go, right? It is too bad. But we're going to Roxanne them. Next turn, I think. Plenty of clicking. I know. Glad I clicked the right thing there. And we got some more clicking to do. So we need 8 energy in order to hit 280. The way you work it out is you do the math of 3 times number of energy. 3 8s, 24. So that's 240 plus the base 60. Gets us up to the 300 damage mark, which is what we're aiming for. And, I mean, I'm not looking to play the Gardevoirs yet either. So we just... Well... Yeah, I think we just do it. I don't think that Sky Seal Stone makes a difference in this matchup, so... We just do that. And, you know, next turn might be a little awkward, but we'll work it out. So what's going to happen on the next turn is they're going to use Snow Mirage and knock out our Zacian. They'll go to 3 prizes. What we're going to do is Ultra Ball for our last Ralts, which is the memory skip one. We made sure not to take that one on purpose, because the plan is going to be to retreat into memory skip and Roxanne. And that's going to put them in a real awkward spot. There's another line of play too, if we're able to get all the energy required, but... Anyhow, there... Let's use refinement on the research. So, the other line of play is boss KO the Arceus, right? Could do it that way. But I want to try it. I want to see how the theory holds up. Okay, and we're going to use Roxanne here. And they've got a very chunky deck. They have not set up at all. Shiny Arcana. Boss's Orders, not bad. Continue to use Refinement. Be nice to get something on the board. What do I want to do here? I don't know if I want to do anything else here. We'll just use Memory Skip. Snow Mirage. So, what happens next turn is they're going to retreat the Vulpix. They're going to attack the Arceus. We accelerate energy to our Gardevoir, and then we knock out the Vulpix by using Boss. That's the line. Bruh. Bruh. Should be alright. Alright, double turbo onto the Vulpix. And then what? Opponent is selecting attached cards, so they must be retreating. Yep. So this is the line that we thought was going to happen. The issue that we have now is that we don't have the boss's orders that we had before. And that's alright. We'll draw into it. We've only got 10 cards in the deck, right? And we've got 2 and 2, and then Ultra Ball gets us a Gardevoir, so that's 2. So I think we're in good shape. We're in good shape. So there's a judge. We go Refinement. We can get rid of 1 candy. And there's the boss. So how many energy do we need on Gardevoir to knock this out? So it has 230 HP. So 5 3. So three energies would be 150. Then 180, then 210, and then 240. So I need 6 energy. I can't attach that many with Psychic Embrace here, as is. So let's use Shining Arcana, just to keep the turn going. Now, I think Picnic Basket helps. I don't know if I want to use Ultra Ball here. I guess I do. And let's just have a look at what's left. Yeah, we've got some good cards in there. Boss and Miriam and whatnot. Does that matter? No. So 5 is 210. 6 is 240. We can add enough here now. Only just. but it is doable. So six threes, 3 6s are 18 plus 60 is 240. Boss's orders. Easy done. Are you mad, bro? Are you mad? Yeah, it worked. Now, we're not out of the woods yet. It's not a sure thing, for sure. If they attack the Gardevoir, which now that they've used research, it means that they're attacking the Gardevoir, we should win. Alright, because now they're probably thinking, oh yeah, you know, like they've used Miriam already, so no problem, right? Wrong. You've not played against the Vice Games Gardevoir. So, unlucky, pal. Unlucky. Miriam. Are you gonna do anything? All right. We'll play it out. Bro, you lose. What are you doing? See, this is all Tord needed to do. All he needed was double Miriam in his deck. No problem. Alright, well, let's attach 3. It's 24. So we need 8 energy on the Zacian to pick up this KO. Thankfully, its extra HP will get there. And we'll go one more for good measure. And we'll go one more for good measure. And we'll go Star Order too. Just for fun. Storm Slash. And that's how you win that matchup on the Gardevoir side. Or at least that's one route to victory. That was a pretty good game. Hey? You lose points? Oh no. Oh no. What have you done? And I shouldn't be ripping on Tord as much as I am, because man, I think Tord is a genius. I thought it was unbelievable that Alex won. Like the way that Tord was playing, like mapping out the way to victory, I was floored with how good he is and how he was playing it. There's so many moments watching that finals match where I was like, dang dude, I just lose here. If I had the cards in my hands and I was facing off against Alex, I lose with his hand. And he played it it was just exquisite watching that finals game. Tord is so smart. Tord is so smart. It's just, yeah, like, you know, it's a new meta. You know, cards are all, you know, different and weird, and of course, like Tord knew what he was playing into, but it's really different when you're playing against somebody as cracked as Alex Schmansky, right? And yeah, it's not no helping prizing and things like that too, right? No helping that. Wow, what a game, huh?